I kept getting written up for my hairstyle, so I cut all my hair off. When I was in the fire academy, the women's dress code said that hair had to be worn in a neat bun. I had layered, shoulder-length hair, so it was difficult to keep it up neatly all day long. The shorter pieces would stick out of the bun, or fall out around my face, and my bangs weren't long enough to pin back without using an entire bottle of hairspray. Most of my instructors were understanding, and said that as long as my hair was up and my mask could seal to my face, they would consider me to be in dress code. But there was one instructor who said there was no excuse. We're a paramilitary type school, so dress code is extremely important. She acknowledged that it wasn't a safety issue, but told me I had to follow it anyway, and that doing my best wasn't good enough. She wrote me up 3 times, and then called me in for a meeting to inform me that another write-up for the same issue would get me expelled from the program. I looked into the dress code and saw that the men's hair code was much more lenient. It just said that hair must not touch the collar of the shirt or the tops of the ears. So, the night after that meeting, I went to a hair place and told the stylist to do whatever she wanted to my hair as long as it fit those requirements. She was stoked and gave me a really cute pixie cut. The next day the same instructor tried to write me up, but since I was technically in dress code she couldn't. The next semester there was a man with long hair who wore it in a bun instead of cutting it, and the following semester the dress code was rewritten to be gender neutral. Now to the comments. Some parts of the uniform policy at my school were rewritten to stop arguments between my parents and my PCA, teacher head of a student group. I was a long-haired boy, it was clean and tidy and fit all the rules, but still caused arguments. I adhered to both the men's and women's policy around hair, but eventually they just changed it to read neat and tidy for both. Unless they fully define what neat and tidy means, any ambiguity of ordinances and codes benefit the party that did not issue them. In your case, it should benefit the students. As far as being ambiguous and ill-defined, neat and tidy rubs me the wrong way as someone with very curly hair. Technically correct is the best kind of correct. Well played. Born to be a bureaucrat, just like Hermes. I'm just like Hermes. I'm just like Hermes. I'm just like kid who died trying to imitate Hermes' limbo technique. The next day the same instructor tried to write me up, duck that instructor in particular. You followed dress code and they still tried to harass you. They just had a bone to pick. I pray and hope that this particular instructor chokes on a cactus. Nopales are edible cactus that are delicious, literally grow in the desert, so very eco-friendly, and medically are excellent for blood sugar support. So yeah, duck them with a cactus, but also you should eat cacti. A bun? Talk about a headache waiting to happen under a helmet. I cut mine short after struggling to be able to quickly and effectively keep mine in my mask. Now I'm just done trying/caring and going to shave it. Haha. The British Army just changed their policy on female haircuts due to so many women getting headaches from wearing their hair in buns under a combat helmet. The US Army did as well, as they did a study that showed tight buns caused hair loss, especially with African American women. I, male, once shaved my head, from pretty long hair, because I was asked to keep it in a hairnet or under my hat. It was a fast food job, so very much a reasonable request. My whole life I've grown my hair out, then cut it short or shaved it. I don't do maintenance haircuts. So, when she asked me to do that, I didn't want to deal with that and I straight up shaved it. She freaked out thinking that she had been too hard on me and made me feel I had to do that. She wasn't. She was a decent boss and had asked me very reasonably. In retrospect it probably did come across that way, but I didn't intend that. Yup, I had to chop all my hair off for the fire academy too, but because I was blonde and it wasn't a natural hair color. 2 academies prior someone had purple streaks in their hair, but it was okay because it was on the bottom and you couldn't see it. Learned real quick rules only apply to some. Your instructor is Mr. Burns. Why didn't she like the pixie cut? She told you to do something and you finally did it. The instructor's chip probably wasn't about the hair. Sounds like the instructor had an inferiority complex and was on a power trip. I thought I told you to get rid of those sideburns. In high school marching band, dress code for girls was up, not touching the uniform collar. Guys had no hair dress code. I had a long bob and it was a pain in the ass to get it up. Wish I would have fought it more, but I was a senior and just ready to graduate. Dress code for girls was up, not touching the uniform collar. This sounds like an awesome massive mohawk would fit the guidelines. Almost all marching bands wear hats, so unfortunately while a mohawk would be technically correct it would render other uniform requirements impossible. Our company's dress code specified that men may not wear short pants and that women may not wear crop tops. Nowhere does it say that men may not wear crop tops or that women may not wear short pants. The next day the same instructor tried to write me up, and that is when you launch an official harassment complaint against her, as high up the chain of command as you can. Paramilitary type school. I was on the EMS side of things, but the instructors said this shit too, lol. In reality it's not really paramilitary at all, they just have command structures that are very vaguely military-ish. Usually this is said as an excuse to treat people, students or new recruits, poorly or flex on them. I mean, I'd have taken that fourth right up if she actually tried to push it through, then sued for discrimination personally. Absolutely laughable calling themselves a paramilitary type school when there is literally nothing to do with anything remotely close to military or law enforcement.